What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Neg Entropy Chronicles, and I'm gonna get right into it. We're doing part 2 of Kwame Brown, and you're wondering why I'm doing a part 2. It's because the first one I did was more of what I was catching from the Breakfast Club and his initial reaction to that, but I've done a lot of research now, and really the reason why Kwame Brown is being respected right now is because he is just responding to all of the nonsense from everybody, and he's calling everybody out on it. A couple of the situations that prompted him to respond, I'm going to have links in the description, so you'll be able to check those out. But we'll start with how they said he was a scrub or a bust and all of that stuff. So he was in the NBA for 12 seasons. He averaged over those 12 seasons 6.6 points, right? Matt Barnes, who's talking reckless, had 14 seasons and averaged 8.2 points. Steph Jackson, 13 to 14 seasons, averaged 15.1 points. So when you look at those two talking, neither of them had substantial amount of points to talk like they're speaking. You get what I mean? Now, they all made it into the league, so that once again, they're in an elite club, but to make it sound like he wasn't doing anything, where you have a person that averaged 8.2 points over that amount of time, is insane. And another one that averaged 15.1, but when you really look at his stats overall through it, he had seasons where he averaged that amount as well. So that needs to be saved. Now, the reason why he even went at them like he did is purely because Matt Barnes and Jeannie Buss were on All the Smoke episode, and she said, well, we traded Marc Gasol and Kwame Brown. He says Marc Gasol and then taps Stephen Jackson on his leg in a kind of mockery type thing, like, nah, we only, Kwame Brown don't exist. We only talking about Marc Gasol because Kwame Brown ain't worth nothing. So that right there was out of whack, out of turn, and just unnecessary. So that's what actually prompted Kwame to speak. And then Stephen Jackson and Matt Barnes were talking to Gilbert Arenas. And while he was talking to Gilbert Arenas, Stephen Jackson goes like, oh yeah, they was talking about Matt Barnes was talking about Kwame Brown yesterday, one of the greatest players ever, one of the best ones out of the draft pick, just on some mockery stuff, just being childish and petty and, gossipy style, just unnecessary. So he got called out. And then you got Stephen A. Smith, and trust me, I watched the whole video to the point I had sent it out and got asked, like, dang, did he do something with his mama or something? Because he's spending a lot of time talking about Kwame Brown. That's why he got called out. Because for years, I'm talking about these videos span for years, and it's about, it's going to be in the link, but he just spent a lot of his career talking about Kwame Brown and disrespecting him. Then you have Charlemagne the God. I'm going to actually make a whole separate video about him because the levels he went, he's getting called out for because he really took a left turn where he should have stayed out of it if he was smart. But I guess he just had to put his little thing in there, and that's why he's going hard on him. That's why Kwame ain't got no respect for Charlemagne the God, because they be talking this black stuff, but then they'll turn on you real quick. It's a weird little thing, like you trying to back all these people even though they're wrong. You should have stayed out of that and been like, yo, these my homies, but they started it, because that's the truth. They went after Kwame Brown. That's why he's responding. So anybody that's saying anything like, oh man, he going too hard, hey, you poked the bear. He was minding his own business, and yet y'all still bring him up. 20 years y'all been talking about this man. He has made over $60 million in the league. So I only seen one person defend him, and that was I do not want to get his name wrong, because him and Stephen A. Smith were going back and forth. Hill. So they were going back and forth. I mean, like, going back and forth. And he was like, he's been in the league 10, he's been making money all this time, so you can't actually discredit this man. And they was just still going, still trying to talk down on him. And him calling out everybody saying, hey, you go hard on black folks, but y'all don't have the same energy on any other race. It's only us that you talk about. And it's true. I have watched Stephen A. Smith downplay and down talk black people as much as he can, and then be like, if you want to see me, you can see me, you know where I'm at, all of that stuff. But a football player beats up a woman, almost kills her, he don't have that same energy. You see what I mean? That's why you see Kwame Brown calling out everybody. And even Jamel Hill, she put her comments in. He told her to back out of it. She apologized. That's it. Charlamagne the God hasn't apologized yet. He needs to back out. Stephen A. Smith need to also get on board and be like, all right, man, I did spend a lot of time on him unnecessarily. That was my bad. He need to back off. Matt Barnes tried to pull this little stunt where he's like, oh, well, you know, I smoked, so I was high. I didn't realize what he was like, I don't know what I did. So I asked my team. They show it. He like, bro, you need a hug. Dude, your woman wasn't even with you no more, and you drove hours to go beat somebody up. But you saying this man need a hug? Come on now. Let's be real. You got to hate the player. You can't hate the player. You got to hate the game. But instead, you went and physically assaulted somebody because of the chick that you used to be with is with a new dude. You the one who need a hug. And that's just real. But you want to say this man need a hug, but you wanted to go out of your way to disrespect this man unnecessarily. So that's what the situation is. And I respect Kwame Brown for speaking up for himself, because a lot of times these analysts go too far. They take it too far. And a lot of times we don't even realize how often they go harder on black athletes and denigrate them, just talk ruthlessly about, until they run into them. And then they want to say, well, you know, we had a conversation. But really, they probably got punked out, but they trying to maintain face in the public eye. And like I said, Charlamagne, he's getting it the worst, him and Stephen A. Smith, because those two have overstepped their boundaries, especially Charlamagne, especially with all the dirt he got on him. He might want to chill and just make his apology and bow out peacefully, because, man, when I do the video on him, y'all gonna understand why. But remember, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and be on the lookout for more videos. All right, everybody? Peace.